everybody, it's Abby. I'm making a video again, finally. It's been a long week. I haven't been able to make videos as much as I usually do. So, I've had a lot of video topics piling up, and so I've got this one that I'm going to tackle today, and I just keep crossing them off my list as we go on. So this video topic is about blood and blood rituals, blood ceremonies, all that sort of thing. It's not your everyday conversation, and it needs to be brought back to the surface. What is sort of like an old ritual that isn't part of the mainstream world. It's sort of like I just get so amazed by how into television shows people get, and how they get so upset when their season has ended and now they have to wait for the next season, when it's sort of like, don't you see how awesome not living by your television can be? How actually interacting with nature, how exciting it can be, to hear the spirit world, and to do things out of the ordinary that are entirely magical and real. And so when I talk about blood ceremonies, it's sort of like the most oddest thing anybody could possibly talk about, because it's not really a topic of conversation, and it isn't. That's something you would see in some witch movie, and the witch is of the damned, and she's evil, and I want to see the witch get destroyed on television. But you don't see the good witch. You don't see the positive benefits. You don't see the altering changes that blood can provide. So where do I even begin to talk to you about this? And what is my relationship with this? Alright, I'm going to ask the spirit world to help me, because I'm a little jumbled with the fact that I'm going to talk about this, but it's important. It's very important. Okay, so the earth is a living organism, right? And the earth is like a female body. And the earth loves when it is praised, and love is given to it, and it is adored, just like women. Women love to be adored, and then when a woman feels adored, then she shines so much brighter, and then her love and her enchanting sort of energy and her emotional gifts and get brighter too. And so her youthful glow, it's sort of it remains, and it enhances, and it becomes brighter light. And the earth is this way as well. So the female body and the body of the earth are very much aligned, and so the earth has endured what is, I find both men and women are both such immaculate forms of creation, and so I always want to balance my video to be both balanced with men and women. So any men, do not take this the wrong way, but men have this sort of need to be to have like a sensation of as though they have a control, that they get to make all the decisions, and it's very much like linear lines. Like they just need things to be sort of in alignment, and women just sort of need things to just be flowing like water, and so they're just different ways of expressing emotions, And so over all of these many thousands of years, obviously we've endured a great deal of war. And war war is the gift of ego. War is the need to dominate. War is the need to be more powerful than another force. War is the need to express yourself as being stronger, as masculinity, being stronger than the other man, It's like man at bar wants girl, other man at bar wants girl, and then at bar, man gets ego, and then drinking gets involved, and then there is heads butting like bulls, It is just what way it is. And so what I'm sharing with you is sort of like, it is okay to put down your swords now. It is okay to put down what is just with your guns. It is okay to put down your need to fight on one side, fight the other side, and keep butting heads like a bull. It doesn't work, you know? And so what I'm saying about this is an expression of what is blood, a blood ceremony. What is war is a blood ceremony. And when blood is shed upon the earth through the energy that is hatred and is negative and is violent, the earth actually feels suffering, feels pain and suffering from that, and the earth starts to, this is really crazy, this is real, this is absolutely real. When this blood ceremony takes place, it creates what is an invisible fence, an invisible energy that actually, it's sort of like its own, you see the earth, right? And then you see around the earth, you have like the blue sort of, I don't remember what it's called, but this is similar to that. It creates what is sort of like an orb around the earth, and then it creates this blood that is shed in violence is a sacred ceremony, and that negative energy actually creates a fence of negativity around the earth, and it imprisons us all here. It really does. It actually is affecting every single human being on the planet, all souls incarnated as well. And now all of a sudden we are we are literally like stuck to a band-aid, and we are connected with this invisible fence that we've created through violence and through bloodshed, which is the ego. It's butting heads, you know, so that doesn't work. We have to change things, and things are changing, you see, things really are changing. And here, what I am sharing with you is the importance that women actually rise up, because women have this special gift, you know, and women can't stand the special gift. Women don't like it. So every month women, you know, have a menstrual cycle, and it is shedding of blood, so it's shedding of old and then embracing new. And it is like moon cycles, you know what I mean? Women are very much aligned with the natural world in these ways. And so instead of shedding blood out of violence and hatred, which men are very good at, that's okay, men, that is okay. But women can actually step up, and now we can help change the vibration here. Help release this sort of energy field that has contained us into a cycle. We can release it through actually taking blood. Just you can figure out how to do this, but you can collect blood, and then after you collect it, you can take it outside, and then you just pour it on the earth. It's literally what you do. And then there's so many amazing things I can tell you about blood. Because this is a long story. I would never have been inspired to do this. It was Avery the human alien that told me about this. Avery the human alien doesn't even live on this planet. What does he know about blood ceremonies? Like, he has incarnated on this planet. He knows about blood ceremonies. He knows about our relationship and our past lives and our connection with blood, which goes extremely, extremely old. You don't know how important blood is. You don't know the meaning behind blood. And so when you, as a woman, this blood is alive, right? This blood, it possesses your DNA. This blood possesses the genetic makeup that is exactly who and what you are. This blood is your gift, is you, exactly you. No other person can be you. Only you can be you, and that is your blood. Your blood is you, and nobody else but you. And so you can feel honored by that. So when you take your blood and you give it to the earth, you share your blood out of love, and then you say, earth, here I am. Here is a gift of my body, and I give it to your body out of love for you. Please use this gift to grow a garden for me and for all the human beings who live here. And when you place your blood on the earth, you will actually feel your living blood. It's still alive for a very brief period of time. And when you put it on the earth, this living blood, with the loving intentions that you give to it, The earth, your body, the living cells of your blood that you just placed on the earth and its connection with the earth are now communicating with your body. So your body and the earth are now in communication, are now actually one. And so you're actually enhancing your vibration and a connection with creation. You're actually becoming expanded as a creation, as a woman, as a feminine, divine feminine expression. This is huge. This isn't just about, oh, just put some blood on the earth, here you go. This is sacred. This is hardcore. This is real. This is extremely real. And your body is having these interactions with the earth, whether you understand it or not, it is. And you are going to find yourself changed, more spiritual, more connected with the earth, more connected with Mother Earth, the voice of Mother Earth, as being spoken through you too. You're going to start seeing things differently because you're going to start seeing through the awareness and the clarity that this connection provides. And you can, and I have, you can put your blood on a candle wick and light it, and now your body is now in connection with flame. So now your body understands flame. Now your body knows. You can intentionally put blood into water and feel the communication between your blood and what is water. And you can put your air in the cup, and you can hold it into the air and speak to the spirit of air and say, I give you this gift of my blood. Please share your wisdom with my body, that we may become one now. This is real. I'm not joking at all about this. This is serious. So you see the importance of television, and now you see the importance of not watching TV. You can actually have these super awesome experiences in real life. You yourself can have them. They're magical, they're altering, they're changing, and they're awesome. Television doesn't give you that. Television, you just watch it, you feel the emotions of what is somebody acting out a scenario, and then you live by somebody acting out a scenario. You live by that. That isn't real. That isn't even real. So we need to get away from that behavior. You need to start actually experiencing the real world that is Mother Earth, the real world that is interacting with other human beings in ways that aren't punching or being frustrated or not. You have a coworker, it's just life. It's just society. It's just life. It's just we all have these interactions that create frustrations in us, but actually trying to experience the joy of life, experience the magic and the uniqueness and the specialness and the all that, And so when I talk about blood, I'm telling you this for real. I'm telling you this seriously. This is what women need to do. I'm telling you, woman watching this video, you need to, on your next menstrual cycle, collect blood and see what happens. It is free to do this. It is a free, fun ride to the unknown zone of reality, and just see what happens. If absolutely nothing happened and it was annoying to you, then fine. Don't do it ever again. But you're not gonna know unless you try. You know what I mean? You gotta try these things. You gotta just see what happens. Either it's you or it's not you. But how are you gonna know unless you try? And you'll be pleasantly surprised by what could happen. It's a super spiritually altering experience. So if you're into spiritually altering experiences, then you should try this. Okay, so alright, so I'm going to tell you, when I had first started doing this, it literally started, this was a couple years ago, and I would say it was probably 2012, because everything got weird in 2012, and I had accidentally cut my finger several times in the same week. I had cut my finger, like it was a paper cut, and then I cut it on like a can that I was opening, and then these things happen. And for some reason, paper cuts are like the most painful, most retardedly painful thing you could ever have happen. It's so annoying because it just is. It's like it's just a tiny little paper cut, and yet it sucks. It just does. It's like stubbing your toe or like hitting your funny bone. It's just the most ridiculously painful thing, and it's pathetically painful. You know what I mean? It's like everybody is pathetic when they hit their funny bone. It's just, and it's so easy. It's such a simple, silly thing to do too. But anyway, so I cut my finger several times, and I don't know why, but I was like really entranced by the blood for some reason. I don't know why. And I every time this would happen, I would see what was a man, very clearly a man standing, an invisible person standing there when the moment took place. And so I was sort of like, that's kind of weird. And then I slowly developed this inspiration to take what was a drop of blood, just a tiny drop of blood. That's all I could muster from my little cut. And then I had it drop onto the ground outside on the third time I cut myself. I did. And I don't even, it was sort of like this like instantaneous need to just give my blood to the earth. I don't have an explanation for where these things come from or why I have to be so weird all the time, but this is what happened. And so I did. And it was like, I can't even begin to tell you how weird the feeling was, but it was just like super energies coming out, like out of the earth, like dancers, energy dancers, like freaking out and happy, coming out of the earth at me. And I was just like, oh wow, this is kind of cool. And then I went in and I sat down. I was just like so super excited that I just gave one drop of blood to the earth, and this reaction took place, and it was just feeling really awesome about myself and kind of weird at the same time, and I didn't know what to do. So I just sat on the chair and just watched this like man who was making his like appearance again, as sort of like so honored that I chose to do this. It was Avery, but I didn't know it was Avery at the time. I have been slowly discovering Avery over many years, and so anyway, so I was just sort of like not sure where to go with this. And so after I had done that, it was like on my mind constantly, like, well, I don't really want to cut myself to give blood to the earth, but I got to do this again somehow, and I don't know how to do it. And it's in like several weeks had passed as I'm contemplating very deeply about how I can share blood with the earth. And then suddenly I was like, okay, spirit world, how do I share blood with the earth? Because I need to do this, but I just really don't want to cut myself. And then it was like this bashing moment where it's like, dummy, you're a girl, you have a menstrual cycle, you bleed every month. And I was like, oh yeah, oh duh. That would work, wouldn't it? And so then I was kind of like, at like 4 a.m. in the morning, like when this would happen, I was like sneaking because you can't tell people you're doing this. Like that's just really not something you tell people, which is why I'm making a YouTube video about it, so everybody can know I do this. But it doesn't hurt anybody to do this. It is not hurting myself, it is not hurting anybody, it is not hurting the earth, it is not doing anything wrong. It is just weird, okay? And I get that, but it's not. It's like the most profound, beautiful thing you could do. So anyway, so it was sneaky, and then I would just like really quickly sneak outside with my little cup of blood, put it on the earth, and then run back in and be like, ah, I did it, you know. And as the months would go by, you know, my desire to be more spiritually engaged with what I was doing and actually connect with it in sort of like a sacred, sort of ceremonial way, became the inspiration. And I actually started feeling inspired to put my blood by a tree in order that my blood would become part of its roots and branches, and then I too would be the tree, that I too would be the beacon that is ingrained into the earth and connected with the stars. And so I become wiser and more powerful. God forbid women could be wise or powerful. Let's not let that happen. And so you see why it's important that men have their reign, their time, that to be the expression of man and to explore what their gifts are. And men have gifts too, and that the gift is that their need to see things like like straight lines, you know, and men are straighter lined beings as well. And then women have a time too where it is their time to share their gifts. And that is what we are stepping into, what is like walking over an invisible line, which is a man's reign and then woman's reign. And right now we are entering into woman's reign. And women are to be the empowered ones again. And believe it or not, in Atlantis, women were the high priestesses. Women were the focal pieces of Atlantis. It wasn't men, it was women. And men also had important roles too in Atlantis, but the balance was different. And it's important that we cleanse and purify all of the decisions that sort of the natural human mind needs to. The human mind has these sort of, it needs to hold on to whatever makes it feel empowered. And if the empowerment comes from winning a war or killing others or whatever it is, that isn't actually aligned with love. The linear then is not aligned with love. So we need the harmony and the balance to come back. And women who are this curvaceous sort of emotional, sort of like the earth when it is in balance and harmony is the most beautiful expression possible. Women, when we are in balance and harmony, then too become the most beautiful expressions of creation. And that is how our society changes then. It becomes a society of love and beauty and harmony and what is the divine feminine expression. And so for women to feel empowered, to become wise through the elements and through connecting their blood with the elements, now suddenly women are becoming empowered spiritually and becoming one with the earth again and becoming one with their sacred right, as to be what is not trying to rule or control, but just being the balancers, being the nurturers, being the sort of, women are the caretakers. Women are the balance of the family because of our sort of nurturing natural ways. As women's beauty, women's nurturing. But you have to see that there's what is balance, Men and women on this planet today we're not entirely in balance. We have challenges that we endure here with our bodies, with our minds, with our emotions. We all need healing. We all need healing, and we all are being healed right now. And so one way that we can help with awakening and help override what is the powers of Draconian race or reptilian beings or however you want to. I mean, they are there, they are real, but they are not the power force that is imprisoning us anymore. We are detaching because we are changing, and love and light is hitting the planet and it is pushing them out because their time is over. Their inspirations aren't influencing the ego as much as they were before. And what I see on this world, and I know I'm taking sort of like a side route, but what I've seen is sort of like time, and time which is lies, and time which is sort of like not actually moving forward, it's just changing its expression. So what was a time when, things look like Rome is now a time when things look like cities, you know what I mean? Nothing really has changed. You just have new faces, new names, new rulers, new rich people and new poor people, new experiences of slavery and power, It's just, it doesn't time actually hasn't progressed forward. It's just changed in the faces, in the names, in the who is rich today, who is poor today versus who was rich before and who was poor before. It's just different, It's just a different structure that is still the same structure. And at this point, in the last 100 years, there's been sort of like connections and awareness that has been taking place in higher political governments, where you have what is the need to not be honest, to not tell the truth. Secret societies, this is sort of normal. We all know this stuff. This isn't anything new. There's always been sort of secrets in every society. There's always been secrets. Human beings don't always tell everything that's inside of us. We just don't, and that's okay. But there's important secrets that have been taking place, that have been building upon building upon building upon building, all these secrets, which then become lies, which then become such a huge mountain and basically pile up a garbage dump that it can't be hidden anymore. It is too large and too much, and people are noticing it without actually noticing it, what are lies and the need for truth. And so pretty soon all of the truth is going to come out, and everything is going to change. And that has to do with what is the truth of our human history? What is the truth about our relationship with alien beings? What is the truth about the Great Pyramids? What is the truth about Atlantis? What is the truth about many of these question marks that the government actually knows about that won't tell us? You know what I mean? There's just so much more that is known in our governmental systems that is not told us about. I mean, we could talk about pharmaceuticals for one. I mean, talk about what is the biggest scam of all time, you know? Like, let's make shit tons of money off of people by giving them a pill that isn't actually going to solve all of their problems, and let's actually have the cures to everything, and then come up with the race for the cure, so then we can make even more money. And then, you know, that's a scam. You have to say, well, that's not true, because if somebody had a cure, that it would come out, right? It would. Well, if you have a cure and somebody finds out about it, they'll pay you millions of dollars to keep your mouth shut in order so that they can continue to make millions of dollars. Like, people, the ego is really easy to manipulate. It's very easy to manipulate. You wonder how Draconian Race did it. Well, you create power systems. You create what is money. You create what, you know, different variations of what is power. And when you lose sight of the fact that we are all human beings, and we all have heartbeats, and we all have emotions and feelings, when you stop seeing another human being as a living organism, and you just see a human being as sort of like a threat or a power trip or whatever that you have to fight against, now suddenly we aren't living organisms anymore. We are robots, and we're not behaving in a natural, loving, balanced way. This all comes back to blood. This all comes back to what is our sacred blood? What is women finding empowerment through a connection with nature, which is what has to take place. Women have to remember who and what they are. Women actually have to reconnect with the earth, reconnect with the stars, reconnect with nature. Women have to. Women have the gift. Women have the gift of their blood. Women do not feel pain. I mean, obviously there are cramps and stuff, but for the most part, women do not die from bleeding for 7 days. Like, women can bleed for 7 days and not die. and that is the gift, and that is our connection. That is our tool to connect with Mother Earth, and to heal Mother Earth, and to heal ourselves, and to connect with ancient and powerful wisdom that comes through this interaction. You don't realize how important it is so important. It is so altering, it is so changing, it is so healing, it is so good for you to do this. To even take your blood to a lake and share it with the water body. You don't have any, it's insane the experiences that you can have through doing this simple act, and it is changing. And so, let me see if I've talked about men's roles and women's roles. And I have to showcase that men are beautiful, and they are the grounders and the solidifiers. That women can get overly emotional, and men have an amazing way of calming women down. And I'm just saying that men too are a beautiful expression in the universe. And I'm not trying to create sort of a friction, but men do have this sort of power. That this has been a very real part of this societal system, that men have been in control, and men in control have these sort of power needs, and women in control actually are sort of influenced by their emotions and influenced by their hearts and their connections, and they're telling me that the ruler has to be the nature. The ruler has to be nature, as in its most pristine form, as in Mother Earth is ruler of Earth, and we bow and give thanks and give love to Earth. Man and woman side by side love Mother Earth, and Mother Earth then heals man and woman together, so that it is not a power of man being in power or woman being in power, that you give the power to the earth. And then the earth then is the ruler of both man and woman. And then all are happy, they say. All are happy now. When man and woman give power to the earth, and then the earth empowers man and woman to have balance and harmony and find happiness, is what they say. And they say that what I'm talking about with blood, it is still sort of like I am like a little preschooler trying to tell you about something that is far more important than I can comprehend or understand its value. And I'm trying very hard to talk about this like I have a doctorate in what is sharing blood, but because of my humanness and my form and society and everything, I'm only able to get a tiny voice out to try to talk about this as best as I can. They say what I'm talking about has a superior meaning, more so than than the human language could ever help to comprehend its meaning. The human language is the preschooler that is speaking to you right now in human language. Blood is the doctorate that speaks to you through the voice that is blood itself. And I am not speaking, I speak through the voice of earth language, and that is the preschooler talking to you about blood. Is how they're trying to help you understand what I am doing right now. Let's see what else they say. So, okay, blood, relationships with blood over time, history with blood, human history with blood is what they say. So I had this vision yesterday, and so I've been wanting to make this video, and I have not been able to. But I woke up, and what I saw here, I see things here, and then I'm surrounded by the emotional experience, so I feel and see. Even if I'm in my room and I am Abby, I am seeing more and feeling more than these eyes see. And what I saw was my mother spirit. She is a serpent. She is a snake woman, a snake woman who is human but snake, and she is both male and female. I adore her. I call her mother, and she is Mother Snake. She is like my most revered spirit guide of all time, and she is sort of like the dark and the light. But in the expression of all, she is the greatest love and harmony and gift to me. She is not evil by any means. She is like so much love and harmony. I don't even know, there aren't even words to describe it. So I was so happy that she had come to visit me as I was just waking up in the morning, because that doesn't happen every day. And then from the sky, there was raindrops falling that were raindrops of blood, and this isn't some gory nightmare sort of evil scene at all. This is actually a very loving, profoundly loving scene. And the blood, the energy of the blood was so electrical, so charged with electricity, that it was sort of super enhancing my vibration. And we were talking about blood, and I was saying how this is, I had said this is not the blood of violence, this is the blood of woman, this is the blood of love, this is the gift of healing that woman provides. And that then was like rain, and I love rain, I love water, I love how water has all these different expressions that it can take. I mean, water can be steam, water can be ice, water can be water can be snowflakes, water can be so many things. And water also and blood are combined. And so blood raining from the sky had so much meaning to me. Obviously, this sounds disgusting, but that wasn't, I mean, I'm in a dream state, you know. I'm not in a real live, there's blood raining from the sky and it's all over me and whatever. This is a dream state. This is all metaphorical. This is all experienced in an alternate way, you know? So this kind of creepy or the disgusting part of it was not at all there. It would not have even remotely stepped into that dream world. And so I'm feeling sort of the charge and the change and the enhancement that is this gift of this rainfall of blood. And then also my mother's snake spirit guide is there with me, and there's just like so much love, and there's so much energy, and the charge of the blood, the electrical charge of blood that is expression of love is so hardcore, so moving, so creative. So it is the gift of creation. Blood is the gift of creation itself. Blood is. And blood comes in so many forms, not just red blood, but other colors of blood, even green. You know, I mean, there are animals on this planet that have green blood. Like, that blood is so unique. It is such a unique expression. And so after I had that experience, I knew I had to make a video to talk about blood and to talk about relationships, man and woman. And I have a hard time figuring out how to balance this voice because we've seen so much violence throughout history, and our souls have such a resonating experience with these types of conversations too. I even feel so much anger inside when I try to talk about how men have solved problems over history, and I don't have anything against men. I just have everything against violence. I find it is so terrible. Who wants to be tortured to death? Who wants to see their children's heads blown off? Who wants to see pregnant mothers stabbed so their unborn babies can be stabbed with a knife in the face? Like this is disgusting. This is what we support. We support governments who support taking a knife and stabbing it into unborn babies. Like that is the equivalent. Maybe our soldiers aren't doing that. Maybe whatever. I have nothing against military or I just don't like. I don't know how to express my feelings about this. I actually have to pay taxes to support killing other people. I find this absolutely terrible. I have to live with this reality every single day. And we don't think about these things because we want to watch our television shows. We don't think about these realities that we are actually paying to have people killed. Isn't that illegal? I mean, isn't it illegal to pay somebody to go knock somebody else off? As long as the government is supporting it, though, it's okay. Because we support the government that supports killing other people that we don't know. You know? It just because their cultures, that is the whole point of this. That is the whole point of talking about this. Don't realize that Draconian Race knows a great deal about blood and a great deal about blood ceremonies, a great deal about what is the value of blood, as it is a spiritual. Has a spiritual property. Draconian Race is spiritual. They are very, very spiritually connected. They are connected with the infinite awareness, and the infinite awareness that helps them experience the fuel and the flame and the fire and the passion and the joy and happiness that is enslaving humanity and sucking the evil and the darker energies from our experiences and living off of that in harmony and balance. Do you see that? Do you know anything about that? That's why we have to stop what we're doing. Just stop. I have nothing against any human being. I too have been a soul incarnated, and I too have explored war. I too have explored killing other people. I have been killed. I have been murdered. I have been tortured and raped and everything. I mean, our souls have all endured these experiences. So can we just, literally, don't we all just want to let's just stop what we're doing? Is just stop, and then let's just decide to do it different now. We don't have to. We can choose to do it differently. We can choose to actually figure this thing out in a different way, you know? This has to do with blood. This has to do with relationship between man and woman as creation. This has to do with the earth and healing the planet right now. This has to do with seeing the illusions that our society provides and acknowledging that they are not working and have never worked. And then after acknowledging that, then what are you supposed to do? Say, I'm just going to go about my day now. No, you say, I acknowledge this isn't working. I am a human being. I am a person who I can help fix this thing. We all can help fix this thing together. And then we choose to do this thing. You see what I mean? You just choose to make a change. You don't just see it and talk about it. You actually make the change. You know what I mean? It's like you want to quit drinking. You can talk about it and think about it all day long, but until you actually try to quit drinking, you're never. What are you actually accomplishing? You're just accomplishing living in a dream and not actually accomplishing the act of correcting a behavior. You know what I mean? This is very much so hard like that. This whole thing is very hard just like that. How do you quit on a society like this? How does everybody walk away from money? How does everybody walk away from all of these creations, from pharmaceuticals? People who actually need this medicine, how do they walk away from it? We have people on this planet who work with plants, who work with the earth, who actually create plant medicines that have solutions to these problems. They really do. More so than you could ever find in spending hundreds of dollars every month to just keep yourself alive off of medicines that aren't curing anything. They're just stabilizing you long and helping you live longer, but maybe not even happier, you know? So I don't even know. I didn't know what all I was going to talk about with this. I don't even know if I shared anything correctly. I just, let me see if there's anything else to talk about. Okay. So, I'm waiting for the spirit world to inspire something, some awareness, but there's nothing. There's dead air. I answer the phone, nobody's there, I hang up, okay? Drop the mic. Like that. So I'm done. See, that's what you do when you drop the mic, you're done. So I've shared what I can share about this for right now, and if anything, just think about it, okay? Just think about things. Maybe this is just a video to inspire some new thoughts about relationships between man and woman, relationships with our society. What has society provided us for all these years? What are we supporting with our money? What is the value of what we support? Is there value in killing other people? And what is that value? Is it a fear-based value or is it a love-based value? How does love change everything? You have to give love a chance. If you want to see what love can do, you have to give love a chance. People think that you have to have a military, otherwise we're all gonna get blown up because there's all these other militaries and people don't love each other, so we need to protect each other. Have we ever tried to give love a chance? You know, there's countries out there that are completely disconnected from all of this. And they're doing perfectly fine, you know, and we can learn something from these countries that are just sort of they're not the US. The US has to have its foot into everything and be an extremely loud voice, you know, and just to be in control of the planet. But there's countries who don't need that, aren't that voice, aren't trying to be in control of, and just want to be a balance and harmony of just a land on the earth, you know? Oh, alright, I'm calling it quits. So this is all for today, and feel free to share thoughts or comments about this. And I don't know, I just don't know what this is. I don't know if I shared this well enough, but okay, well thank you for watching my video. I'm managing to get all the way to the end. And I have more videos to come. I've got a really long list. I'll cross this one off. Alright, bye for now.